Once, on a quiet farm bathed in golden sunlight, lived a father and his 2 sons. They had everything a cat could ever need: warmth, safety, and plenty of food. But the younger son, Mittens, a slender ginger tabby, grew restless. He spent his days staring at the distant mountains, dreaming of a life without rules. One afternoon, he approached his father, Mr. Whiskerson, a long-haired white ragdoll, while his older brother, Barnaby, a large, muscular gray tabby, watched with suspicion. "Father," he meowed, "give me the portion of the goods that falls to me." He wanted his freedom, and he wanted it now. With a heavy heart, the father divided his living between them, watching his youngest prepare for a path he did not know. He gave Mittens what he asked for, a wealth of silver-wrapped treats and golden kibble. A few days later, Mittens packed his things and left the farm without looking back. His father stood at the gate for hours, watching his son disappear into the sunset. He turned his back on the warmth of the farmhouse, lured by the promise of the great city. He journeyed into a far country, certain that he would never need to look back. The father watched until the road was empty, his heart trailing behind his wandering son. In the city, Mittens found a life of flash and noise. He was no longer a farm cat. He was a king of the alleys. He wasted his substance with riotous living, surrounded by friends who loved his treats more than his soul. He lived for the moment, believing the feast would never end. But when he had spent all, a mighty famine arose in that land. He began to be in want. The friends of his prosperity vanished with the sun. He was alone in a city that did not care. Hunger became his only companion. The cold seeped into his bones, and his pride began to wither. He went and joined himself to a citizen of that city, hoping for a scrap, a kindness, anything. He would have gladly filled his belly with the husks the rats did eat, but no man and no cat gave him anything. And when he came to his senses, he remembered the home he had forsaken. "How many of my father's hired servants have bread enough to spare?" he whispered, "and I perish with hunger." The journey back was grueling. "I will arise and go to my father," he decided, "and I will say, I have sinned against heaven and before you." Mittens' paws were cracked and sore, but he kept moving. As he neared the farm, he began rehearsing his apology, certain his father would be angry. Each step was a struggle of shame and exhaustion, but his face was set toward home. "I am no more worthy to be called your son," he rehearsed. "Make me as one of your hired servants." And he arose and came to his father, but when he was a great way off, his father saw him in the distance. He had never stopped looking. He had never stopped waiting. Compassion flooded the old cat's heart, washing away the months of silence and worry. He did not wait for an apology. He ran. He ran as if his own life depended on reaching his son. He fell on his neck and kissed him, burying his face in the dusty, matted fur of the wanderer. The son began his speech of unworthiness, but the father would hear none of it. "Bring to me the best collar with diamonds and bells," he called to the household. "My son who was dead is alive again." They put a ring on his hand, a collar with bells upon his neck, and shoes on his tired feet. "Bring the best fish in the house," the father commanded. "Let us eat and be merry." The house was filled with the sound of purring and the joy of a family restored. As the celebration began, Barnaby returned from a long day of work in the fields. Hearing the music and smelling the fresh trout, he grew bitter. He refused to join the party, sitting alone in the dark grass. Mr. Whiskerson came out to find him, nuzzling his ear gently. Barnaby snapped, "I've been here every day, working myself to the bone, and you never threw a party for me." The father looked at him with deep love and replied, "Son, you are always with me, and everything I have belongs to you. But we had to celebrate today. Your brother has come back to us. We have our family again." As the moon rose, the 3 cats sat together on the porch, finally at peace.